Recently, I have turned 25. We're not going to talk about it. It's a quarter of a century? Decade?
A century is a period of 100 years.
Century. Quarter of a century. I've found over the past 25 years, I have experienced quite a lot for one gal. And so in today's video, I thought that I would share with you 25 things that I have learned in 25 years. Get yourself a coffee, grab yourself a pen and paper, because maybe I have experienced some things in life that if I tell you about it, you don't have to go through the same things to learn the same lessons. So if you like this type of video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel right down below. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all of the other social media things. And if you would like to hear about 25 things that I have learned in my 25 years, then just keep on watching. Number 1. Having trauma does not mean you are broken. I recently learnt this in therapy. I started going to therapy probably 2 or 3 months ago now. Maybe even 3 or 4, to be honest. And recently we were talking about some trauma-related things that I've been through in my life, and I mentioned to her about wanting to fix my trauma, and she pretty much just said to me, Lacey, trauma, it sticks with you. Very, very few people get over or work through their trauma to a point where it doesn't affect them. And she told me that the healthiest way to live with trauma day to day is to learn how to deal with it when it comes up in situations where you might not be expecting it. For so long, I thought that my trauma had broken me. I was this fragile little shell when it comes to my trauma related stuff. And I really think I needed the eye-opener of, you are not broken. There is nothing about you that you need to fix if you have trauma. You just have to implement strategies and ways to cope and deal with your trauma when it does arise in certain situations. Number 2, all relationships in life come and go like seasons. If you have the same person in your life throughout the entirety of your life, you are a very, very lucky person. Those types of people don't come by very often, and you should be very grateful if you've got someone in your life that is stuck around through everything. I definitely am the type of person that thinks that each person that comes in and out of your life is supposed to teach you a lesson, and that most people only stay in your life until you've learned that lesson, and then one way or another they will leave your life. I know different people have different opinions on this, but that's personally what I think. And the sooner that I came to that realization, the easier it was for me to let go of relationships that no longer serve me, or be a little bit more accepting when people walk out of my life without any explanation. So appreciate people while they're in your life, because you never know when their time will be up. Number 3, being happy with less money is way more fulfilling than having lots of money and being unhappy. So I learned this lesson through quitting my day job last year in October. It was a massive fucking risk for me. I took an extreme pay cut. If any of you are new, what I do now is social media, and I also run my own small business. So I went from having a pretty stable income to potentially making $0 in 1 week. But getting back into budgeting, only spending money on what I need versus what I want, even though I have to do those things day to day, I am so much more happier now that I'm making less money and I'm doing the thing that I love. Number 4, if something scares you, go for it. I cannot stress this enough. The worst that can happen is that you grow and you learn. So this one kind of leads on from number 3. I was terrified to quit my stable job, but the growth that I have felt within the past 6 to 8 months especially has been unlike any other. I feel like I can finally be myself, do the things that I love. I can spend time on finding out who I am. For so long, especially working in hospitality, I was on this super heavy grind. I was working 30 to 40 hour weeks in my hospitality job. I was doing my social media. I was doing my small business. I just was constantly go, 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 go. And I never truly had enough time to sit down and really reflect and think about, who is Lacey? Who is she? when she's not working 24/7. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to pay my bills. I was worried I was going to use up all of the money that I've saved, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I have learnt so much, and if I didn't lean into this and just trust that the universe had a plan for me, then I would still be miserable at my hospitality job, getting nowhere in life other than making the money that made me sad. So this is your sign, babies. Go for it. If there's something that you've been waiting to do it now. Number 5. The bad times do not stay bad forever. This particular one found its way onto my list because I was on a TikTok live the other day and I was talking to this young girl who was in high school, and she was just telling me how depressed she has been, how upset she is, how drama-filled high school is, which true, I felt all of those feels in high school as well. But as soon as I left high school and I stepped into the real world and I was just living my life for a bit, you soon realize that life is full of ups, downs, and everything in between. Life is not constantly this one straight happy line. And if you think happiness is some goal that you're going to reach and then you're going to stay on that flat line forever, you will never ever be happy, girly. Never ever. The sooner you realize that life is full of ups and downs and little good times and little bad times, sometimes really, really good times and sometimes really, really bad times, the happier you'll be day to day, because you will cut out that unrealistic expectation that every day should be rainbows and butterflies. If everything was all sunshine and rainbows every single day 24/7, you would not grow. You would not learn things and you would not become a better version of yourself each and every day. But just know that everything is teaching you a lesson and everything is turning you into a better person every single day. Number 6, worrying about other people's opinions will only stunt your growth and stop you from being truly happy. Now, this is something that I learned very soon after I left high school. When I was in high school, I was constantly worried about other people's opinions because you had to be surrounded by these people 24/7, every single day. And that was very intimidating to little Lacey, especially because you're kind of forced to be around people that don't necessarily have the same interests as you or the same core values. So as soon as I left high school, I stopped giving a fuck about what people thought about me, and I posted the video. I made the YouTube channel, I made the TikTok account, and I created the business I've always wanted to create. I stopped giving a fuck about what people thought about me, because if I constantly cared about the opinions of other people, then I would not be living my dream life right now. I know it's hard, it definitely takes practice, but the only opinions that should matter to you is your own. Number 7, spending time outside and off of your phone is extremely important for your mental health. This one is something that I have had to implement into my life since I quit my hospitality job to do social media full time. It's so easy for me lately to just sit and scroll on my phone and use it as the excuse of, this is my job. I'm scrolling on TikTok to find sounds for my job. Like, bitch, no you're not. You're just not. Maybe half an hour is okay to do that, but 3 hours straight, you are not doing research. So taking even half an hour or an hour out of my day to go sit in the sunshine, read a book, a physical book, go to a coffee shop and read my book, or even just go for a walk along the lake. Ever since I've implemented that into my lifestyle, I have noticed such a massive change in my mental health and just disconnecting for a bit, you know? There's a whole world outside. Don't look at it through your phone. Number 8, spending money on experiences is way more fulfilling than spending money on things. I feel like this one is pretty self-explanatory. The excitement of buying a thing only lasts a couple of hours, a couple of minutes even. Getting out there and spending your money on experiences is so much more beneficial for you, your soul, your well-being. Number 9, self-help books actually work. As you guys know, I have recently indulged in a couple of self-help books. And when I tell you that self-help books actually work, They actually work. You obviously have to take what you are reading and implement it into your everyday life, but I don't know what else to tell you. Every self-help book that I have read, I have learned at least one helpful thing that I carry on throughout my life ever since I've read it. There's really not much else to say. Go out and pick up a self-help book. Give it a read. Let me know what you think. Number 10, helping people and being self-employed are my only two cemented goals in life. The rest is totally up to the universe. So this one is a little bit more personal, but I feel like the way that you could interpret it is picking one or two core values or core goals that you want to achieve in life, and then just accept that anything else that comes your way is meant to be for you, and trust that the universe has a plan. I obviously have other goals in life. You know, travel Australia, travel the world, buy a house, all of the things that as humans we want to do or have in life. But I really am just finding as I get older that I just am trusting the process. And the more I lean into trusting the process and what the universe has in store for me, I feel like the more good things are just coming my way. And they're things that I didn't plan on having, but I am so freaking happy that I have them. Like, I did not know or plan that I was going to run my own art business. That is not something that I saw coming from a mile away. I'm trusting what the universe throws at me, and she's got her own plan, babes. She's gonna get me to a happy place eventually. I'm being so spiritual, aren't I? I love that for me. Okay, I'm gonna run through the next one's really quickly because I feel like I've been talking forever. Number 11, spirituality, although not for everyone, played a massive part in my healing journey. I feel like you can tell that from the past 10 things that I've spoken about. Spirituality and opening up to that whole side of things has just, I don't know, given me something to lean on in really difficult times, and given me something to believe in when I have felt lost. Not for everyone, I know that, but personally, that has been one of the things that has helped me in the past 25 years, although past like 2 or 3 years in particular. Number 12, holding grudges will not serve you. Realize that if things were meant to be different, they would be. Thank the experience or the person for teaching you lessons and move on. Holding grudges and being angry at particular people for things that happened years ago or even things that happened months ago is just such a waste of energy and space. You really could be putting the energy that you're using into hating someone or being resentful against someone to put into yourself and your own personal journey through life. And holding grudges and being resentful towards people, it just takes up so much space. I've had a lot of things happen with a lot of people in my life, and I can confidently sit here and tell you that I do not hate or hold grudges towards anyone. I do not wish bad things or harm on anyone. I don't know, I just think it's bad energy. I think it takes up too much time and space, and I'm just so much happier leaving those people in the past and moving forward to live the best possible life that I can. Number 13, most people are capable of growth and change if they work hard. Now, I made sure to include the if because there's definitely people in life that do not put the effort in. They do not put the work in to change and be a better person, and those people will forever stay the same angry, miserable people they have always been. But something that I have realized in my own personal journey is that growth and change is possible. I am a completely different person to who I was 6 months ago, let alone 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So if you knew someone 10 years ago and somehow you bump into them today or end up being in the same room as them today, try to remember that everyone is capable of change. Give them the benefit of the doubt first, and if you notice that they haven't changed, that's totally okay. Don't keep grudges, don't wish harmful things on anyone, just move on, shut them out of your life, and keep moving forward. People go through things every day that change them, allow them to evolve and grow. I don't know, if you haven't spoken to someone in 10 years and you bump into them, they could be different. Number 14, if you are hurting, feel your feels. I cannot stress this one enough. Feel your feels. Masking them with drugs or alcohol won't fix them and will only take you longer to heal. This is something that I had to experience to learn. I don't really talk about this much on my social media, but I grew up in a household where alcohol was extremely present. So when I got to my adolescence, I thought that alcohol was the way to cope with everything. So whenever something horrible happened, whenever I had a falling out with a friend, whenever a relationship didn't work out, I would always turn to alcohol, and I would just go out. Every single day, every single weekend, every single chance that I could, I would be drinking alcohol to numb the pain. But through doing that, I very quickly realized that the pain returns once the alcohol wears off. And you know, I obviously had to work. I couldn't be drunk all the time. I had to be sober to work, and I was working 40 hours a week. So there was a decent chunk of the time where the alcohol would wear away and I would be sober enough to feel the horrible feels that you feel when you're in those low lows. And trust me when I tell you, it is not worth it. It is the biggest waste of money, the biggest waste of time. And at the end of last year, I went through one of those really low lows, and I decided I wasn't going to turn to alcohol anymore because I hated that I was doing that. I knew that it wasn't serving me and it wasn't aligning with my core values as a human. Like, I know that's not the way to cope and deal with things, and that's not who I am. So my last really low, which was at the end of last year, I decided to sit on my couch for 3 weeks straight. I bawled my eyes out and I felt my feels really intensely. It was extremely painful, but those 2 or 3 months full of numbing the pain with alcohol that I used to do shrunk itself down into 3 weeks of crying and being sad on my couch. And then as soon as those 3 weeks were over, and as soon as I had felt my feels, it was time for me to heal. And I just knew within myself that the time was right. I found that getting out of bed each day got a little bit easier. I found that going on walks seemed to be a better idea each day. Getting dressed, doing my makeup, getting back into the things that I loved, like filming, they all became easier each and every day. And I don't know, I've talked for a while on this because I'm obviously super passionate about it and I've been through it. So if I can stop you guys from wasting so much time drinking alcohol, doing drugs, going out, numbing the pain with external factors, then I will. That's what I'm here for, to help you. Number 15, trust your gut always. This one's super simple and super easy. I'm not going to chat about it for a long time. I personally think that if you have a gut feeling about someone or something, trust your gut instinct. Like, I wish for so long that I listened to my gut rather than getting my heart or my brain mixed up in the equation. I think out of all three, trust your gut. Number 16, giving too many second chances will teach people that it's okay for them to treat you poorly and that it's okay for them to continue to show the same behavior and they will get another chance. This one's extremely difficult for me personally, and I'm still learning it. Giving second chances is okay once, twice, maybe even 3 times. But once you continually give the same person chance after chance after chance, and they continue to hurt you or show that they haven't changed, then you're just teaching them that they don't have to change. They don't need to change because they know that you are so understanding and so lovely and have the best heart ever. Can you tell that I'm speaking from experience? And it will just teach them that they don't have to change. Number 17, living alone at least once is something that I would recommend to everyone. It gives you time to learn about you. If you guys are new, or if you didn't know, I have now been living by myself for 5 years, I think, and it has been the best 5 years of my life. Living on my own is something that I will do for my whole entire life, literally, unless I meet a partner and I choose to live with them. But other than that, I'm living on my own forever. No roommates for me, no thank you. No living with family anymore for me, no thank you. Living on your own, it gives you so much freedom. It gives you the chance to do things that you love without judgment or influence from other people. Living on my own has been the best thing to happen to me in my life. Number 18, Think about how you feel when you are around someone. If they drain your energy and leave you feeling exhausted, then it's time to let them go. This is one that I have learned somewhat recently. And if you're in a situation where someone is draining your energy and you constantly feel tired around them, you will know. You need to surround yourself with people who lift your energy levels up and make you excited and make you want to be a better person. You don't want to be surrounding yourself with people who bring you down. And sometimes you've got to remember it's not always the person's fault. Sometimes two people just don't align at the same time, and that also can create the imbalance where one person feels really drained or one person feels higher than the other. Like if two people are not on the same wavelength or in alignment with each other, you will feel that imbalance, and it's just not beneficial for anyone involved. Number 18, money is just energy. You're not losing it when you buy something. You are trading it for a different type of energy that will serve you and your life more. Now, I learned this from a TikTok. I watched this girl's entire 3-minute TikTok. This has been a really good lesson for me to learn, especially now that I do have to budget and I do have to kind of watch what I spend my money on. Thinking of money not as money, like a physical thing, like I have money. Thinking of it as energy is a game changer. It helps you kind of prioritize what you want to spend your money on, but it also makes you realize that money is just an imaginary thing. Which sounds so stupid. Please let me explain. So when you go to the grocery store, for example, and if you do a $60 weekly shop, you are taking $60 worth of energy and swapping it for $60 worth of different energy, and the energy is in the form of food. It kind of sounds silly when I explain it, but the girl on the TikTok, I promise, explained it really well. If you're spending $60 on healthy food, that's good energy that you're putting into your body. Does that make sense, or does that make me sound really stupid? I think it makes sense to me, and I really like it. And I don't know, I learnt it and I like it, so it's on the list. Okay? Number 19, don't let society's norms push you into being a version of yourself that doesn't align with your core values. This is again something that I learned when I quit my full-time job to do my business. While I was working my full-time job, I was unknowingly conforming to society's norms of you have to have a practical job, you have to be getting a sustainable income, you have to be saving for a house. All of those things are pushed onto us by society and by the people around us. Like that's just what you are supposed to do as an adult in life. You work a job that you hate to pay for the bills that you don't want to pay for, to buy the home that you'll live in one day for what? Just to go to work every day and only spend night times there? As soon as you break away from those societal norms and realize that it is okay to do whatever you want in this life, you will be so much happier. For so long, I was scared to quit my job because I was scared of the opinions of other people. Like, people look at someone who's an artist, a social media creator, and most of the time think, oh, how do you make money from that? You must not make money from that. That's not sustainable. You can't have that job forever. That income fluctuates too much. It's not stable enough. As soon as you stop listening to all of the negative people, society, telling you all of these negative things about the things that you want to do to live your life, you will go out and live your life the way that you want to and realize that you can do it like that. Number 21, you just simply will not be for everyone, just like everyone will not be for you. It's not personal. Sometimes personalities don't mix. Take this in whatever way you want. Friendships, relationships, anything. Sometimes there's nothing that anyone does in a friendship, a relationship. Sometimes things just don't work out. And I always used to think like, what did I do wrong? This person doesn't want me in their life. This person doesn't want to talk to me. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do? But sometimes in life, people just don't mix. It's like what I said in the very beginning. Friends, people, relationships, they come and go in life. Sometimes people leave for a reason. Sometimes you leave for a reason, but sometimes people just aren't on the same wavelength. And honestly, I think the sooner you realize that, the sooner you will be less stressed and upset when people go in and out of your life. Number 22. We're getting close to the end, you guys, I promise. Writing down what you are grateful for today is a great way to appreciate the now and makes you realize how lucky you are, even when you feel like your world is crumbling. So writing gratitude is something that I have been doing every single day now for the entirety of 2022. Taking the time to literally sit down and be like, okay, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? Most of the time, if it's a sunny day, I'll write that the sun is shining today, which means I've taken a second to appreciate the fact that it was a nice day today. And if I didn't sit down and do that, I could just as easily get caught up in my head like, oh, this really shit thing happened to me today. Taking time to sit down and think of 3 things that you are grateful for every single day is such a positive thing to implement into your everyday life. Number 23, putting your happiness first becomes easier as you get older. I feel like I'm finally at a point in my life where my happiness is the most important thing to me. When I was younger, I used to stay in really shit situations just because I cared so much and I wanted to stay in certain situations, whether that be with family members, friends, same sort of shit, even the job. I really truly do think that it has been since I quit my job that I have started to see how much putting yourself and your own happiness first is such an amazing thing to do. Obviously, like making sure that you don't go out of your way to hurt people in the process, but looking after you and your happiness should be your number 1 priority every single freaking day. Every single day. Number 24. Waking up an hour earlier each day allows you 7 extra hours each week to work on you. I've found that waking up an hour earlier every single day has been such a good thing for me and my mental health. I've taken that extra hour every single morning to do whatever the fuck I want. If I want to get up an hour earlier to work, I'll work. If I want to get up an hour earlier to watch YouTube, I'll watch YouTube. If I want to get up an hour earlier to go on a walk, I'll go on a walk. It doesn't matter what I do in that extra hour, but it gives me 7 hours a week to just do whatever I want. I think it's a really good way to start the day. I think it's a positive way to start the day. You can't go wrong with getting up an hour earlier. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Literally nothing. And number 25 is to love yourself always, which I just thought that it was a cute one to end on. A cute one to wrap everything all up. Think of it as the red bow on top of the present, if you will. I think self-love is so incredibly important. I know that it's very, very hard, but continuing to work on that every single day, I think is something that's really important. At the end of the day, the only person you've got, girlfriend, is you. And if you don't love yourself, no one else will. So with all of that being said, that was a list of 25 things that I have learnt in 25 years. That was a lot. Who else thinks that that was a lot? I hope that you learned something today, and I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel right down below if you haven't already. Follow me on all of the other social medias if you're not following me over there. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I will see you all very, very soon.